Welcome back to the Berg Podcast. With me today is Dan.
Hey, everybody.
And Ford.
Hey, what's going on?
And we're talking about food. So we had this chat that seemed to lead us in the direction of almost like our own version of a diners, drive-ins, and dives. And it started with, like, at least locally, kind of a classic debate between two local gas stations and which one has the best quality food, which sounds like a funny conversation if you're not from this area. But the Sheetz Wawa debate is can be an intense one at times between, you know, what you're looking for, what you grew up with, and what your preferences are.
Well, it's been interesting because this was part of the conversation we had before with Brian. We both grew up here. You went to school to the west. You went west for everything.
Yeah.
For some reason, I grew up here, went east for everything.
Yeah.
So to me, it was what I started with. So it's a Wawa guy because Wawa came from the Philadelphia direction. And you had Sheetz, and so that was that. So that's the part, I think you said, like the heritage of it. And now I have a third contender that isn't local, but beats both of them. So that's kind of a tough challenge there.
That is part of it, right? So yeah, we grew up within miles of each other, but there's like this invisible border. For some reason, I always went west, and when I started to drive, at least the local supplier was Sheetz, and I thought Sheetz was amazing. Right? You know, you get gas, get a slushie, get an egg sandwich, whatever it is that you
Schmegel.
Yeah. Everything was SH, right? You know, schmuffin, schmegel. Schmegel doesn't sound like something you want to eat, by the way, but pretty delicious for
a sizzly. That sounds like something I want to eat.
All right, that does sound better. All right, I'll give you that. But I always went to Sheetz. In fact, I didn't really even know Wawa. We didn't go that direction. There weren't any in the area at that point in time, and everyone, you know, this direction, it was always like, oh, Wawa. You know, that Wawa's got to be better. And I felt like an outsider, but I still kind of cling to my Sheetz a little bit. So
yeah, see, Wawa. The funny thing with Wawa is, I definitely think Wawa was better for sandwiches a long time ago. I don't know that it is now. I think they've sort of streamlined it. But I also, like, growing up in Jersey, that it was Wawa, and for us there was a place called Heritage. So Wawa and Heritage, and the funny things I remember about Wawa, and this is one I don't think I even talked about it before we started talking about it, was Wawa, the family would like vacation, or they had a home they went to that wasn't at the beach. It was in Millville, like on a lake in deep South Jersey, and there was no Wawas in that area. Like, some of my family lives down there as well. Wawa initially would not build a Wawa where they went away. Then they broke that trend completely because they started going to Florida, and then that's how Florida ended up with Wawas. Right. Plus, Wawa's vice president for a long time that ran it had the best name that you've ever seen on a coffee cup. And we're not going to get into what his name is. But Ford, I think you remember, if anybody that knows Wawa would know, there was a little thing they would write on the cup about, like, Wawa's history, and
he signed it.
And he signed it. It was his signature, obviously reprinted, but on the cup. And
Richard Wood?
His name was Richard Wood, but he didn't sign Richard as his name.
Okay.
So on every Wawa cup was Richard Wood. But I mean, for me, it was always Wawa. The first time I ever saw Sheetz was I was going to my cousin's wedding. He met the girl that he married in Western Maryland. They went to college together, and we were out there, and Sheetz was like amazing. It was like glistening. It was so I could order anything. Wawa didn't have burgers at that point. It was amazing, you know, and we went through a similar thing with Royal Farms with the chicken tenders.
Yes. Yeah.
So we started this conversation before we were going to do a podcast about Berg construction, and we got sidetracked.
We've been talking about food for.
If you could see the three of us, you would not be surprised that we could carry on a long conversation about food. So we started saying we'd start with the gas stations.
Yes. Yeah.
Which we should just stop calling. That's why they converted to convenience stores.
Yeah, because
right. It's like when Dick Cheney went away from global warming and changed it to climate change because it sounds better. Like, if you say convenience store, that sounds way better, because why would I buy stuff?
Why would you buy food at a gas station if that's not prepackaged?
Though I will throw this in there, I just thought of this, is Royal Farms is good.
Okay.
Best chicken I've ever had from a gas station, though, Tiger Mart in Louisiana. They also had a live tiger in the parking lot.
Okay.
I was late to my brother's rehearsal dinner for his wedding. He got married down there because I stopped and bought chicken for everyone and messed around with the tiger.
And also, yeah.
Had to go feed the tiger.
He was like, "Why are you late?" And I was like, "Well, hold on. I brought Tiger Mart." And he was like, "Ooh, chicken." And then everything, we were all
was
okay.
better.
It was all better because I had lots of chicken.
Yeah. So
Well, locally there used to be a really good chicken place that changed hands. Used to be Martin.
Trailside.
Trailside used to rock.
Yeah.
Because that was a local owned. It was a better thing.
Yeah.
And actually, for people that have been here a real long time, like myself, because Turkey Hill was the only thing in town.
Right. Yeah.
So we went to Turkey Hill for everything. You get a pound of lunch meat, you got your milk, everything was there. Like it was the original convenience store, but they didn't really, they kind of lost some of their
Did
luster.
Turkey Hill come from like a grocery chain? Like
Came from Turkey Hill Dairy.
Yeah.
Kind of is the same startup as Wawa. Like
Right.
it was a dairy, and then they kind of jumped out into it, and then they've been sold 15 times to different people, and every time the transition just loses a little bit of its thing.
Well, the Trailside that one was awesome because they actually like cooked the food there. They had a real kitchen, and it would be like one of my favorite places to get a breakfast sandwich. Right, you go in cooking real eggs on the grill, toasting the bagels or toasting the muffins, crisping the bacon, and the place smelled like a breakfast joint, even though.
It smelled like 8 pounds of lard.
Yeah. Even though, 75 feet away were diesel gas pumps, but it just felt like a breakfast place. And part of it was because they were kind of like a hybrid truck stop / local gas station. And
Yeah, Ford brought me out there.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't think. Like I come out from
Yeah.
Jersey and I move out here, and he's like, "We're gonna go get lunch," and I'm like, "Okay." And we pull into like a truck stop, and he's like, "The chicken is gonna be amazing."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right," and it was.
and the potato wedges or steak fries.
Potato
Oh,
wedges,
potato
yeah.
wedges. That's because that's like Boyer's down the shore
Yeah.
with the potato wedges. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we moving on
well,
to after?
So
convenience?
the outside the area contender though that Ford introduced me to that I had never seen before. So is it 2 years ago? Maybe 2 years ago we were traveling for work and we flew into one place, had a meeting, and then we're driving a couple hours to the next place.
Yes.
And we were in the south, a little further south, and we're going down the highway. And Ford says, "Hey, we got to get off here and stop at this gas station."
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I'm like, we have gas, but maybe he's got to go use the
The
restroom.
true look on his face, because then he's just like, all right, we're going to a gas station. What's going on? So I will tell you my introduction to it. So for my honeymoon, we flew to Savannah, Georgia, and we drove across to New Orleans and just saw the South, because part of my contention is we usually always go to the same places, and there's a lot of the United States that I haven't seen up close. So we followed it's not Route 10, but it's 10 basically across the bottom of the country. And we stopped for fuel at this place. Neat looking, whatever. It's a gas station. It's a big one. And I'm pumping fuel, and Tamara goes inside. And she's in there for a while. I'm like, all right, whatever. And she comes out, and she's like, you got to see this place. Okay, we're at a gas station. Like, whatever. So then I go in. She sits in the car. I was like, what the heck was this place? And then we both back. So we went into the same gas station 3 times the very first time we were there. So it's this place called Buc-ee's. They're started in Texas, and they're kind of moving up. I think now they're like Nashville or whatever it is their closest one to us. So you're not going to see it up here.
No,
but if you're heading south, you'll want to stop. It's the size of a Walmart, but a gas station. You can get anything there from a slow cooker pellet smoker.
Right,
to
the actual grill,
Yes.
right? Not something that was made on a slow cooker.
No.
You can buy the grill there.
Right.
Yeah.
To swimsuits with their logo on it. I mean, it's got everything in the place.
Yeah, I think they do all of their own like custom popcorns, right?
Yes.
And popcorn mixes like the kettle corn, the cheese corn, all that. They've got
Yes.
an entire wall of beef jerky,
Yes.
like more beef jerky than any human should ever consume.
See,
But
I have never been to Buc-ee's,
it's
but ironically, I started this I sidetracked us before we ever got started today by saying one of my friends, Aaron, would put a picture on Facebook, or like 27 pictures on Facebook, and he completely disavowed himself of Wawa, and he is like Wawa's #1 fan, and he was like, Buc-ee's is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I thought of you two immediately when I saw the post, because I was like, they both said the same thing. Like it doesn't appear to matter which one is your favorite, Buc-ee's is better, so I don't think I can get on a plane to fly just to go see Buc-ee's. I think that's too much.
You got to find a reason, though.
But if we can find a reason to get me close to a Buc-ee's, we're definitely going to drive a little bit to find one.
Yeah, this past spring, I think I said this earlier, but this past spring, my son and his friends drove for spring break to Florida, and they drove overnight. And I was like, all right, somewhere around like 5 or 6 in the morning, you're going to be passing this place called Buc-ee's, and you have to stop. And I got the same thing. I got the pictures. They're posing with the gopher out front, and they all agreed that it was a worthwhile experience.
So, and I'll go back to this, and then we'll switch off of convenience stores. Right. Is I was in Vermont. We were skiing, and we were coming back, and we stopped at a gas station, little gas station, no big deal, and they had 2 for $1 hot dogs with any topping you want, including chili. And it brought me back to being a kid with my brother.
Okay.
And Mike and I would go up to 7-Eleven, which was another store that was also close to us. And you could get 2 hot dogs. I think it was for $1. I don't think the price has changed apparently. And all the toppings. And I'm like, careful with what I eat. Like, I don't want to mix things.
Right.
My brother is the complete opposite. So we could both get a hot dog. And I would put like mustard and relish on mine. Mike would put chili, cheese, sauerkraut, relish, mustard, ketchup.
Everything free
works.
Anything free was going on that hot dog because of the value that it would create. And my girls looked at me and they were like, why are you getting hot dogs? You're not even hungry. I was like, they're 2 for $1. You have to buy the
How
hot
could
dog.
you not?
And this leads me to, we'll close out on, right now it's Hoagie Fest at Wawa.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And so the hoagies are a little bit cheaper, mildly cheaper. Yesterday, Scott Gardner and Decker both went to Wawa and got lunch. For the classic is $6. The shorty is $5. Which hoagie did they get?
Wow, they didn't want extra food, so they probably went through the $5 one, which is half as much food.
Right. Yes, they did 40. I pointed out to both of them, why not just get the classic?
2 lunches.
It's already cut in half. Just wrap it up, put it in the fridge. You can have lunch again tomorrow. And for $6, for $1, you got the other half of the hoagie.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's real cool. We're trying to jump off, but we can't. But the other thing that's really funny is if you bring people from anywhere else, like the convenience store food thing is really an East Coast dynamic.
Except for Buc-ee's.
Well, I think with the exception of Buc-ee's. I don't know if there are other chains, at least none that I'm aware of, in other parts of the country.
Well, most of them are more traditional, the 7-Eleven,
right.
those things. So you got like the hot dogs and like the burritos you could heat up in their little microwave type thing. Like as we used to travel as kids, like there wasn't even that here, but now that there's here. So when you have people from out of the area come visit and you're going to the convenience store or whatever, they think that's where you get your cigarettes and your beer. And we're like, no, that's not where you get it.
Yeah, ironically, you can't buy the beer there.
That is
or some of them.
Now.
Well,
now
now you can buy
to.
the beer there, but yeah.
But you couldn't. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So all right, so let's move on to something else. What's the next food we're picking here, Ford?
Well,
all right. Well, 2 things. If we say some of these things, we're going to have to. We're trying to. Part of this is a little bit about travels and some of those. We're not going to really go local on certain things just because of certain issues. So, like if we say best chicken wings, it has to be out of a 25-mile radius of Morgantown.
Oh.
All right. So this is convenient.
If I said certain things, then I just have issues.
This is convenient for me because I didn't grow up here.
Okay.
So this is all going to win. So chicken wings, that's easy. Where am I going to say for chicken wings?
I don't know the name of the place, but it's all in the back way down to Jersey Shore. It's like a
Piccalilli Inn on
that's
206.
Okay.
They are amazing, and they have tails, and they have wings, and they have tenders, and so some of them are breaded, and some of them are floured. They're awesome. They used to be all you could eat was Wednesday. I think it still is on Wednesday. And you might as well. You go there enough, you're just going to your cardiologist. So we spent a lot of time at Piccalilli's. You're going to get a full-on dose of Pine Barrens, South Jersey, combined with people with happy, rich people in the middle of South Jersey, and they're all going to meet there and collide at Piccalilli's.
Nice.
There'll be a fire truck out front with a chicken wing guy on it.
I was just trying to. I don't know if I have a good that kind of chicken wing place to go to. I'm trying to think of somewhere that I've had fantastic chicken wings, and I can't think of one.
Yeah. Well, one that it's not even probably still there, but we were talking too about like chains and how they have like really uniformity, and then sometimes they don't. I was one of the times I was traveling a long time ago. I went to a TGI Fridays, which I don't even know if still exists anymore, in Indianapolis, and I ordered chicken wings. And I'd ordered them in the local TGI Fridays back in the day, and they came out, and every year they kept getting smaller and more scraggly. But they had this real sauce called like the Jack Daniel's sauce. It was really good. and I ordered them out there, and they came out, and they were some of the biggest wings. I don't know if they maybe got the misorder, but it was like the best wings. It was so hysterical because like I'd had the same wing at another one of their venues, and it was like half of the wing, and I was like, and it still sticks in my mind because it's like, okay, that's part of the uniformity of things, but it's not the same thing. And usually when I'm traveling, I will have to say wings aren't like the first thing. That's more of a local thing. Like, oh, I'm going to go out and grab some wings. It's usually not as much of a. There's also a Irish place in the city. I can't remember the name of it. It's like one of the oldest bars / food places in the city. It's on a little side street. It's like right near Center City. Like you have to like get out of the cab like a block over and walk because I don't even think cars can go down the street in front of them. And we used to have them there, and it was you wonder about some of this stuff. Like some of it is the food is like ridiculous, but some of it is the ambiance and the experience as much as it is
who you were there with and where you were in your life. All right, how about we'll go local. How about cheesesteaks?
Yeah, cheesesteaks. Okay, well, local cheesesteaks is easy for me. But
we're not doing local. I know where you're going. Right, I guess Brian can do local. Ford is not going to go local no matter what here. Yeah. So he just
where's your cheesesteak spot?
Locally?
No.
Oh, in general?
Yeah.
You can say local if you want. For you were the one. You set your own rule. I don't feel obligated if.
Well, it's so funny because cheesesteaks, we're outside of Philadelphia. Right. When we tell people where we're from, we say Philly, and so but the places that are truly in Philly are more show than it's like every time someone comes from out of town, we got to take them to the two places in town, and they get to try their one or whatever it is, and they're not bad, but they're not
right. What's good for sales competition, right?
Right.
Pat's and Geno's.
Do you want it chopped or do you want it sliced or whatever their differences are?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's all about the roll, really, is what matters.
Yeah. I mean, I like Pat's. Given if I'm going in,
I'm a Geno's guy.
I like Pat's. He likes Geno's. I always say my grandfather, he went to Pat's as well.
Right,
so.
Can I admit I've never had either.
Oh, we're gonna have to.
You've been down in the city that many times, even when you're like coaching down there, and you guys never stopped at either one.
I've never had either. Yeah.
Have you been to like
D'Alessandro's
or D'Alessandro's or John's? Okay, so you have had steaks. So you just haven't been to Pat's. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we would always go after games, but I would honestly say like Mama's in Bala Cynwyd, that was a really good steak sandwich. Assuming you could get them to make food that day, they were really good.
Yeah.
How about you, Ford?
Again, it's a thing. Like when I travel, I will never order, especially if it says on the menu
Philly cheesesteak.
I refuse because it's going to be terrible.
It's like an instant red flag. You're not going to order a Philly cheesesteak in Texas. It's not.
You're
going
at the beach in Florida, and it's like Philly cheesesteak, and I'm like, it's going to probably come out with tofu.
And I think
it's going to be like steakum on a roll from the grocery store.
I feel like I always have a story, but I have two quick things. One is I think that my accent, being from Jersey, sounds more Philly than you guys' accent necessarily.
A little more Dutch Mennonite.
A little bit more. So when I go places, and I've actually said like, how is everybody's got an accent? Right?
Everyone's from somewhere.
I'll say like, how are the cheesesteaks? I don't even say that. I'll get there and they're like, ask me a question, and I'll
remember Connex and you asked that, and the guy's like, well, the restaurant's from Philly. I'm like, that doesn't mean
that doesn't mean anything. It was PJ's. But from my voice, they already know that they'll be like, are you from Philadelphia? And I'm like, yeah, I'm from the area. And they were like, yeah, don't order the cheesesteak. But my uncle years ago, you're going back to my Uncle Joe, who Ford's met. Years ago, going up to Maine, we always went to Maine, and he stopped somewhere and he ordered a cheesesteak at a restaurant. And you're probably talking mid 70s. And they brought him a steak with cheese on it in a roll. No. Yes. It was like a New York steak strip cooked with cheese on it in a roll.
Yeah.
And he was like, what's this? And they were like, you said you wanted a cheese steak sandwich.
Yeah. And I've seen steak sandwich. Right, and like
I've had those.
Steak. Yeah, strips of steak.
Those with breakfast. So while we're in sandwiches, let's go to like just any sandwich that is like your favorite sandwich. Not a hoagie, but like an actual sandwich from outside the area.
Okay.
So I'm going Turkey Club from Jaime's in Narberth.
Okay. Yeah.
Really? Because I figured what's the place where we get the roast beef sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, but that place doesn't even exist. Oh, wait, the roast beef sandwiches. Yeah. No, he's talking about Ye Olde Ale House.
Oh.
Yeah, Ye Olde Ale House.
The end cuts.
With the end cut, a little bit of au jus. Yeah, and they have the continental fries. That is good, but I mean, God, I thought you were going to go with the chicken or the pork Italiano sandwich, but that place is now like I don't know, it's depressing. It's not
no longer there.
It's gone.
Yeah.
But no, I have to go Jaime's. I go to Jaime's. I go out of my way to go there. You get like nice rye toast. It's delicious.
Now,
I wish
when you were out west,
ahead,
did
yeah.
you get into like the whole Pittsburgh style sandwiches when you were out there?
Yeah, so I think it's a novelty. Truthfully, I mean it's good. Like I like the Primanti Brothers, especially if you go to some like the original locations. You know,
I
like
mean, not the one in Lancaster.
no. So the like the ones that look like a chain restaurant, in my opinion, are a chain restaurant. But if you go on in the Strip District or on the South Side, and places looks like a trailer coming out of the side of a building. They're cooking right, 10 feet away from you across the bar. That's like, especially in like the wee hours of the night. That's a really good sandwich.
Good. I'm second guessing my turkey club
Yeah,
now. I
that's
just
a
thought of a
really
couple
good
more.
sandwich.
Shanks is another one. I'm going to stick with my answer before. Where are you going here?
No, I was going to Ye Old Ale House for the
All right.
sandwich because that
Thank
is
goodness
like
we covered it.
I wish I could remember the name of this. So, the boys and I, my sons and I, we were traveling. We were in New Orleans, and we had been like walking around all day, and we wanted sandwiches, and we were talking to like a woman who lived there locally, and she was like, she recommended this place, and we were like, a 3-minute walk from it, and we walked in, and it was like she's like, this is where, if you live here, this is where you go to get a sandwich.
that's what you're always asking for. You don't want the tourist traps.
I don't want the tourist trap.
And we walked into this place, and it was I didn't even think they served food, truthfully. Like it was a convenience store. Like it was like, on the left they had coolers for drinks. They had packed as many things into this tiny little space as they could.
You buy a fly swatter, a pack of gum, and some bullets at the same place.
Yeah, but you walk to the back, and they had like a little deli counter, and with the most interesting combination of ingredient sandwiches you can. And I got essentially what was like a shrimp po' boy, but it was by far the best po' boy I'd ever eaten. I wish I could remember the name of it. And yeah, that was awesome.
All right, so did we do burgers yet?
We did not do burgers yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
burgers is a good one. Yeah,
Burgers
burgers
are
is
a good one.
tough because I feel like you can get a good burger a lot of places.
Well, I think let's try and like
I'll
go.
piggyback.
Let's trim this down. It's not about the burger because like a quality juicy burger. Hopefully, you get that everywhere.
Sure.
I think this is more about the toppings or the uniqueness is what we're kind of going for because the one place Dan talked about earlier, I think they have 82 different combinations, which creates like unique things. Not just like, I mean, a burger with cheese and lettuce and tomato, like hopefully you
get
get
that
that
at
good.
home.
Yeah.
Before we jump off of the po' boy sandwiches is
right.
Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah.
There's a little place just like you described,
Yeah.
but in Louisiana, and it was that they made good sandwiches. Yeah. But I'm sticking with it. All right, burgers. Ford, you go first.
Well, I was going to take that one.
You take it. I'm going somewhere else. You take it.
Well, for a while in the Reading newspaper, they would kind of have like, I think it was a Reading newspaper or one of the Reading things. They had this like once a week they would highlight a place or they had a competition, best burgers or whatever. And at that point, I was paying attention. We were trying out new places. And there's a place called the Doho, Douglasville Hotel. From the looks of it, I mean, I think that's kind of a theme. The theme that we're kind of talking about, some of the best places are not the places that you're going to like see the big blinking signs
They're
out
a little
front.
unexpected.
Yes,
Right? Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
So the first time we went there, and it was like they have a burger night, which again, it's like a minor discount, but it's a burger night, so that's kind of all they sell that night. And they have, I think, at that point, I think they were up over 100 now. Last time I was there, 82 different, and you order by number. So you're like, I want a number 65. And they have all these combinations of, I guess, customers asking for, I mean, from the weird of sweet to the, like, just anything you could think of. And so literally you would take probably, this is the longest I've ever spent looking at a menu because you're like, oh, that sounds good. You're like, next page, oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. And again, it was about the toppings. Like the burger was good, but it was really about the combinations that somebody had dreamed up. I think one actually had grape jelly on it, if I remember. Like, I mean, just real crazy stuff.
All right, Brian, how about you?
Some of what we talk about is that it's hard to get, right? And so mine's like really boring, truthfully, but it's because I can't get it. And one of my favorite burgers, and this is like a little maybe nostalgia for me growing up, was In-N-Out.
I knew it. I knew you were going there.
Yeah, and I just can't get it. And so, like, one of the first things that the Aiden and Gavin and I did when we took our little road trip a couple years ago, We landed right in Vegas, and there's one that's like the closest we got to one. And I was like, oh, we're stopping for lunch. I have to stop for lunch. I haven't had an In-N-Out burger in 15 years or what. And
did it live up to the expectations?
Yeah, I knew what I knew what to expect, and it was everything I wanted it to be.
Okay.
But it's not a good burger. Like, it's not a gourmet burger. You're not getting like, something amazing. It is a fast food
It's a better
restaurant.
McDonald's, but it's not a.
Yeah, but I think that might be part of it is like you can't get it. And
for the backstory, when you were young, you lived in
I did. I
so
grew
you
up,
could get
I grew up in Southern California. It was, and we grew up we grew up well, but we didn't have a lot of means. We didn't go out to eat. But when we went out to eat, that's what we were doing. We were going to get like In-N-Out, or there's a little burger shop around the corner called like P&G Burger. And that was like the first kind of place that I ever had like weird toppings on a burger, right? They made like a burger with baked beans on it. Like, stuff like that.
Some pulled pork and coleslaw.
No, that was in Southern California. That wasn't really, at least when I grew up, it wasn't really a thing. So
for me, I'm going to go, and I like burgers. Like I'll go to a really nice restaurant and get a burger anyway, just because I want to. But I'm going to go Lucky's Last Chance that I said earlier. So it's in Philly. And the burger that I would get there, I can even tell you the burger I would get is the pickler. And it had like fried pickles and the like mustard ketchup sauce stuff is kind of pickled. I think it's a really good burger. The Heritage has good burgers. And for a while they had, I don't know if you still have it, they had a burger. And I called Ford and Tamara after I had the burger. And I was like, you stole this burger from Lucky's Last Chance. And they were like, what's Lucky's Last Chance? And I was like, oh, come on now. That burger won Burger of the Year like 3 years ago in the city. And they didn't know anything. It was the funniest conversation because they genuinely didn't know about it.
What?
But
it's the pickler? No, what did you call it?
Yeah.
What?
So it's like, it's a burger with fried pickles and cheese. And then the ketchup mustard, like whatever sauce combination, it sort of has like a dill taste to it. So it's a lot of pickles on a burger and a lot of cheese.
And burgers have gotten wild. I mean, good, but wild. Like you can get like peanut butter on your cheeseburger and like different stuff that
pork belly.
Yeah, stuff that you just would
good.
never have, in my opinion, expected to put on a cheeseburger. And
and then there's a one that what's the one that they do with the cheeseburger inside of the grilled cheese? I mean, it's just like
that one was. I ate that for a while. It was when I got to my heaviest before I lost some weight. And now I'm sure I could ask them to make it. Texas
I think it's
toast.
back on the menu, but it's probably got to be like 4,000 calories.
Three types of cheese,
a patty melt or something.
Yeah,
right?
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. 3 types of cheese. Giant. I've eaten 2 meals in one sandwich. So what's the craziest sandwich that you guys have seen around? For me, it's at Rutgers. At Rutgers, they had all food trucks set up, and they called them fat sandwiches. And it was literally just people combining everything. And if you build the sandwich and you eat the whole thing standing there, they name the sandwich after you and it goes on the board. So my brother and sister went to Rutgers, and so they would, late at night, order ridiculous sandwiches and then eat them, and then you get your name on the board.
Yeah.
So the fat sandwiches they're crazy up there. They're huge. It's probably 3 meals at least, with the entire meal crammed onto a sandwich. Sort of like Ford's favorite sandwich from Wawa.
The gobbler.
The gobbler.
Yeah,
the gobbler. It's not even good turkey, as Aaron has pointed out, but it doesn't matter.
I've had them other places that have like done this similar. They won't call it or whatever, the same thing, but yeah, there's definitely. But it's the uniqueness that creates the thing. I mean, I think that's. As our world we've talked about before has become so homogenized, and there's the exact same thing at every street corner. I think what we're really talking about behind all this is literally the places that still are local, that still have uniqueness left to them. Because if you want, if In-N-Out isn't here, but if In-N-Out was here, it's the same every time.
Like McDonald's for me,
yes.
It's like Cane's for me.
Yeah. If I could get it all the time, if it weren't regional the way it is, it probably would be much less valuable to me.
So what's your craziest of your sandwiches?
Crazy sandwich? That's a difficult one.
I mean, you were in Pittsburgh, so it could be one of the original.
I mean, Permane is like when you take coleslaw and French fries and thick cut Italian bread and you make a sandwich on it. It gets pretty wild, but and any kind of sandwich you got to eat with like both hands. You can't let go until you're done.
I was gonna say if you can't put the sandwich down while you're eating it,
That's
you're in a good spot.
Sign.
That's a thumbs up. that's what I was trying to think. Like, I usually don't get sandwiches, but whenever I travel anywhere, I try and spend a lot of time finding the local spot,
Sure.
right? Because like, if I can have it somewhere else, I think the craziest sandwich was one of the first times I had a soft shell crab sandwich.
Oh,
Okay.
mhm.
And again, it seems to be the theme here. We were down somewhere near the shore, pull into this little like old wind stream, and they had like the seafood there, and they're like, "Hey, soft shell crab sandwich," and I'm like, "Okay, great." And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna try
'Cause
it.
you're assuming it's crab meat.
Yes,
Right?
yeah. If I didn't know what it was at first, and then you literally eat the entire crab. And the sad part is, and it's like chasing that dream, is that I've ordered it so many other places and I have never had as good of
It
one
wasn't the
as I
same.
had there.
Mhm.
And like every time I have it, I'm just disappointed because
Yeah.
I don't know. It was the experience. It was all the things combined, but like, oh, they have it here. That sucks. Like
Yeah.
it's just amazing how much.
The people, the place, the
Yeah,
environment.
the envision it in your mind. It might not have actually been that good, but for some reason it sticks in my
Right.
brain. I mean, it was like on white bread. I mean, it was like this basic thing, but for some reason,
Yeah.
that one was the best one I've ever had.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a funny one here. So I think Brian has. Yes, you have. You've been to Germany. You've been to
Yes.
What's the best thing you've had not in the United States?
Not
Right?
in the United
Like,
States.
so-
Mm.
I thought of it, so I'll go first because I already thought of it. Is when I was in Barcelona, I had pizza at this place, Don Kilos, and I don't know what we make here, and I'm Italian, but it's not pizza. Like this Barcelona is very close to Italy and France. It's right on the northern coast of Spain. That was I would order that every day. When we were there, once I found this place, I found a reason to go and whenever they were open. But even the dessert was a pizza. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Ford, how about you?
But yeah, you got one outside the country.
Yeah, Ropas Viejas in Cuba.
Okay.
And again, I've had it other places. It's fine.
Yeah.
But the lady that was our guide, her mom made it for us. And so, again, I think the surroundings and stuff was because there's actually a Cuban restaurant in the Miami airport. And when we're flying places, sometimes we try and go through that airport because it's actually pretty authentic Cuban food, we'll call it. And they have it there. And so I'll order it because it's good. But it was really, again, probably more just everything surrounding it than it was the food.
Yeah.
Because like if you go to certain places, like if you go on vacation, and especially if you're a tourist, they really try hard, which is bad. They try hard to give you American food,
Mm,
and they do a subpar job of it because it's not their food.
sure.
And so you're always trying to get like they give you French fries that are like limp and like unsalted and stuff like that. They try and give you pizzas, and it's like I don't know what that is, but that's not marinara on there. So it's like you guys like we're coming to this other country. We want to at least I want to experience that. And they're like, oh, we got these Americans here. We better like make them American food. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
I can get that at home. I don't want that from you guys.
Yeah.
You know what's sad is that I think that I feel the same way, even though I don't have as wide a palate as you guys do. But I feel like that's not what a lot of people want. Like a lot of people like the comfort of they go to the place and they can
And they
order
want-
spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
Like I don't, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's in Louisiana that happens, which I've spent a lot of time traveling to Louisiana
Sure.
because of my brother. I feel like if you go to a authentic Louisiana style, like family owned restaurant, you get a food that tastes a certain way. And if you go to like a chain, you get something that's so spicy it almost makes your head blow off. But they're trying to
They're just
chase like what you
trying to-
think
yeah.
Louisiana spiced blackened should taste like, not what it actually tastes like. But go ahead. What do you got, Brian?
Yeah, that's a tough one. So I haven't gone to like anywhere that serves like I would say really different or really interesting food outside the country at least. But and actually one that caught me off guard. You mentioned Germany. I had schnitzel in Munich that like my sister ordered it and I was like, sure, why not? Right. And I've had schnitzel before, and it's like you can get it like a PA Dutch version, or it's not that uncommon, I don't think. But it was unbelievable. It was yeah.
It was not what you
It
had.
was not what I had had.
Sort of like the pizza.
It's not what I expected. And of course, we had it with like a room temperature beer, and also something that I never would have ever said I'd like to drink, and it worked. It was really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So one of the things that started this conversation before we got on the podcast was JD had gone to
Oh, yeah,
Ron's,
Ron's.
right? Which is Ford and I are real big fans of Ron's. I go there a
Right.
fair amount, not as
Right.
much since I have kids, but a fair amount. And JD expected Ron's to be a certain thing,
Yeah.
and Ron's is a really nice
Casual
American
bar
casual
dining, yeah.
bar. You
Yeah.
can get pizza. You can get everything. It's kind of like diner with where the menu's huge. But JD was expecting it to be a steak and seafood house based on thinking what Ford and I, if Ford and I say it's really good, he assumed that's what it would be. So I don't know where Brian's favorite one would be, but I don't know if we'll go the same with steakhouse, but if you're getting a steak, where are you going?
Steak. Mhm.
Butch and Singer.
Yeah, that's
That's it.
I've never been to
Butcher and Singer.
Butcher and Singer.
I've been to some other ones,
Yeah.
but something about, again,
Yeah.
I
the
mean,
whole
part of it's
thing.
the atmosphere. I mean, Brian, like we've talked about, we made a joke that whoever won, the weight loss contest, something, we never did
Right.
it.
Yeah.
It was just, but sometime if you can ever get there, and like we could go as a
I
group,
do,
the three of
yeah,
us,
So
but if you could go with Allie,
I've done
like,
like
it's-
Ruth Chris was
it's
is
just,
really
it's like
good,
not,
but
yeah,
and
it's
I've
just
done
not even the same.
there's a pretty good one in Wyomissing that I like.
Actually, that's for local. That's one of the better
Yeah.
ones I've ever experienced.
But you get a dry aged porterhouse.
There's a place that I went to when I was traveling. I went to a place in Savannah called Alligator Soul, and they do some like it's like a exotic steakhouse, and
Mm.
so I had an ostrich steak
Okay.
that was actually like really really good. So
I feel like I must be driving this conversation because we're staying away from all foods that I don't eat. So how about seafood of any variety other than the soft shell crab? Ford hasn't
Yeah,
gone there. So
soft
how
shell
about seafood of
crab.
any variety?
Well, this is going to be the place. I've eaten a bunch of stuff there, but I thought of two stories I wanted to quick get in. But one was there's this place. We're down to Jersey Shore, not South Jersey. We're in North Jersey. We're driving down this road, and all of a sudden we see this little sign. We're like, oh, we should try this place out. It's a place called Raging Cajun.
Mm.
It's about 2 hours from here. Pre-kids, we would just drive down there for dinner and come back because we like the place that much. It's like a southern food place, but it's up here, and they actually do it pretty authentic, shall we say. And they have like gator bites. They have all the stuff
yeah,
like
gator bites.
that. And so, going there definitely is a highlight. It has like 15 tables on the weekends. They have like southern music playing and like,
Nice.
jazz. It's like a real neat. Again, I think, if there's a takeaway, the experience matters as much as the food.
sure, yeah, for sure.
Are you much of a seafood guy?
I love seafood. I'm trying to think of a place where I've had like the best seafood, and it's, to me, it was an experience, not a place, right? So same thing. Like I've always been what my parents and family would have said is like a little bit adventurous when it comes to food. Like I'll order things on a menu that people usually are like, I'm not going to try that. So
You're the guy ordering the lamb when everybody else is ordering the burger, huh?
I'm not necessarily, but I usually have, and seafood is one of those things for me. So, I mean, and again, experience, but when I was probably like 10 or 11 years old, we were out to eat with my grandparents, and they lived in the mountains, so of Central California, and swordfish. So I really love swordfish, and I was like, we're at this place I couldn't even tell you the name of, and for forever since then, I've been like in love with seafood. So
Yeah. I was going to say the best seafood ever was actually when we were out deep sea fishing. We caught a El Dorado, or whatever they want to call it, depends on the term, and they sliced it up there. And I eat sushi, but this is sashimi, and I'm not a huge fan, but just the freshness of it,
Sure.
there was just nothing better if you're talking about straight seafood. Because seafood's a thing too, kind of like steaks. If you go to a place and they get the towers and it's fancy, but oysters usually taste like oysters. Lobster tastes like lobster. Nothing crazy. Another time we were in Destin and there was a little oyster joint, and like they made again, oysters are the base, but they put all these crazy things on top of it. And we went back like twice while we were down there just because the uniqueness of what they created there. But I want to put this caution story out. So we went to New Orleans,
Seattle, sure.
yeah, and we were trying to find a local place. We find this little dive place, and it's pretty rough looking. But we're like, this is like the local place. We've asked around. This is the place. And I bite down, and all of a sudden, something pokes, like, I think it was my cheek or the top of my mouth. I pull it out. The wire brush that they used to clean the grill was in my. I was like, this is sometimes when the local place, you got to be ready for a little bit of anything.
The local place might not be as strict as other places. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I mean, you
If
got to
I-
go with a little risk.
Yeah.
You got to go a little risky sometimes, but you get there.
If I was going seafood,
Yeah.
which I don't eat a lot of
16th
seafood.
Street.
Well, 16th Street has stuff, but Doc's Oyster House, because I can get away with a steak. But in Atlantic City, Doc's is like an old place. But as Ford said about the local places, I'm notorious for Chinese food. I think if I can find the most dive Chinese place that looks like it should be out of business, that isn't, then I say to Aaron, we'll see. That has to be good, because a place looks like that should be out of business, but it's not. And that's burned me more than a couple times where I was wrong.
That's
So
I
stand by that argument, but it doesn't work out well sometimes.
I did think of one while we were just chatting here, but you started to talk about New Orleans and in Seattle. I went to a place on the water called Ivers, and I had probably like the best smoked salmon that I've ever tasted in my life, and it's just fresh. It's
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's environment too, part of it, right? You're sitting on the water, you're eating some of the freshest seafood that you probably could eat. Watching, we were actually right across from like the Washington Row House. You're like, so rowing and stuff like that in front of us. So yeah, but
All right, so this is probably our longest podcast.
I was
Yeah,
just
it
gonna
keeps
say,
going.
we can
But-
talk about food for a long time. Apparently,
But here, I'll try and get us to close it out
All
here.
right.
So, what's the place that you can't go to because it doesn't exist anymore? That sticks with? Is there a place that like you know you've been to it, you went to it? I have a place in mind for me. So for me, it's Mildred's in like Strathmere, Sea Isle down the shore. Aaron and I would go there for our anniversary or for other things, and some friends down the shore who were older than us and had the means to go to places that weren't super expensive. But when we would be at, going to a burger joint, they were already going to nice restaurants. And Mildred's was around for generations and ended up closing down. And you could get prime rib there, was unbelievable, and they had a lot of seafood. So for me, it was Mildred's. There's a place, it's gone. I'm never going to go there again, but it's a place I'd like to be able to go. How about?
I got two because I got to break the rules. One is Elverson Deli, close by. Used to be really good, closed down. It's now not even a restaurant anymore. And the second is down in Florida, a place called Leilu's. It was a coffee shop and made breakfast sandwiches and stuff like that. It's no longer there. And so the memory lives on of those places and how good it was. Whether it was or wasn't at this point is irrelevant. It's just that the experiences you had there, that was the first place I drank black coffee because the coffee was that good. Because, I mean, you talk about people with coffee, we already get a whole other but like you start with like stuff in it because you need the caffeine, then after a while you kind of get to the point where you're just drinking it black, and that was my transition
was
point
it
because
for
the
you.
coffee was that good type deal.
yeah, you drink good enough coffee, you don't need anything else in it. So yeah, I agree.
How about you, Brian?
Places that have closed, man. I don't go to enough places apparently.
See, Brian also had kids younger than we did. So
that's
like
true.
that is part of what impacts this, I think,
Maybe.
is that,
Yeah.
it would be harder to, because we all know once you have kids, it's,
Yeah.
Well, what
it's
about
not the same experience.
not to put one to you, but just thinking about it, what about the pub up in New Holland? Did you use that place a
New
lot?
Holland,
when it
yeah.
closed?
So I did. I liked it was called the pub. Yeah, I like the pub. And it's no longer, you can't go there anymore. New Holland doesn't have a lot of variety. They've got some good things, but not a lot of variety. And so the pub was nice. It was something different than what you could get without having to travel a lot, right? So like the pub, it was a go-to, especially lunch spot for me for a long time. Can't get there anymore.
It was just up on my runners up list, so I was like,
Yeah.
well, you were closer to
Yeah.
it, so maybe that was your spot.
Well, and I'm going to throw this one in there at the end. It's not closed. I could go there at any point, but I just never.
Town Hall. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Was
That's
that
like
good?
a diner. That was like a diner.
Town Hall
Dan
is
would have been a fan of that.
Town Hall was an awesome diner. They closed actually just less than a year ago, but you can't get that anymore. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to throw two things in that I didn't talk about just because I got to go back home. So one is Vincenttown Red Lion Diner, either of those, especially Vincenttown. Just that's like the best diner for me in Jersey, and I like diners in Jersey. And the other one is when you said the pub. So the pub on Admiral Wilson Boulevard in 38 coming out of Camden into Cherry Hill. It's like it's sort of like Butcher and Singer, but it's a little bigger. You stepped into a time machine. Like there's like, buffalo heads on the wall. And it's where the Knights of Columbus, the Shriners, everybody would be there. Like, you know what I mean? And they cooked, it was an open,
Open concept before it was open?
yeah, it was an open kitchen concept before that.
yeah.
Like they were cooking on wood and charcoal fires, both in the building. So it was always a little bit smoky. So even if people were smoking or weren't smoking, it was going to be smoky regardless. And you could and it had a salad bar. which was like a thing in its time. So,
Right.
but it's if you went and they had I like pint glasses,
Okay.
even though I don't drink much. And their famous thing was 1.5. All their shots were 1.5 shots. So when you got a shot at the pub, it was 1.5.
Huh.
They were bigger shot glasses.
Well, this is a funny story that I have to just tell because it ties back to my sandwich. So in the beginning, Dan doesn't do it as much, but Dan was such a diner guy because in Jersey, diners mean something. So I don't know how many diners he would drag me to out here that were terrible, but
Terrible.
because it said diner in the name, he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're going to this diner," and I'm
diner.
like, "Ugh!" And like we would try it, and then we didn't go back. So I knew I didn't bring it up to him, and be like, "That wasn't a good diner," but I just knew that he knew too. But it's like he didn't realize that in Pennsylvania, diners aren't like
It's not quite the same.
no, and so he's like, "Oh, there's a diner. Let's stop there for lunch." I'm like, "Can I get like a grilled cheese? Because I'm not trusting anything else on this menu." But
All right, we should
We gotta wrap it up.
you're gonna
this one up.
you're gonna have a
We gotta wrap
Aiden
it up
cut
here.
this?
We gotta go get lunch.
I got to go get lunch. I'm going to get a burger.
That's enough for today. If there's anything that came from this, it's try somewhere local and try something different. We hope you got something out of this, and we hope you'll come back for another episode. Thanks.